Hey, hey, hey. This is more like it, isn't it? The proper time. Hello, everyone. You are very, very welcome. From a wet and miserable Ireland, I'm afraid. It's pouring down out there. All the more reason to stay inside and share an hour or two with me on Elvis, the ultimate fan channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I really mean that. Thank you very, very much. I do appreciate every single one of you. And I'm sure Elvis would as well, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about keeping Elvis's legacy and memory alive. That's what we're doing here. And what's coming up? If you're joining us for the very, very first time, welcome. And basically what happens in the next hour and a little bit is we have a lot of fun. We have a topic. As you can see, this week's topic is how Elvis handled fame. And I'll be looking for your phone calls to discuss that if you wish. Or you can just listen. Basically, you can call me on Discord. If you're not on our Discord channel yet, you can join by clicking the link below. You can ring me on WhatsApp. The number's on the screen. Not yet. You can call me on Instagram or Facebook Messenger. So what's coming up? Yes, that topic, as I say, this day in Elvis history. Always very, very interesting, this day in Elvis history. If you want to know what Elvis was doing on a particular day, like today, then I'm going to tell you down through the years. Underrated Elvis song? Yep. There's plenty of those, I'm afraid, because as you know as well as I do, when a radio station or a disc jockey or something like that, you ask them to play an Elvis record, they always play the same sort of 12, the same ones, Always on My Mind, All Shook Up, Hound Dog, those sort of things. You wouldn't hear them play long Black Limousine, that's for sure. Anyway, a song I wish Elvis had recorded. Again, it's sort of one of those where if you're going around your business during the week, in a store, shopping, on a bus, anywhere like that, and you hear a song being played and you wished Elvis had recorded that, well then send it in to me and I'll see if I can feature it on a show. Photoshop of the week, that goes without saying. They're horrible. But I like to bring them to you because some of them are quite clever and some of them are quite subtle, and not everybody knows that it is a Photoshop. Elvis at the piano. Yeah, that's one where I ask you, which song would you like Elvis to have sat down at the piano during a live stage show and sung, like Unchained Melody or something like that. Caption this photo. We always have a lot of fun with that. I post a photograph on the community tab on this channel on a Tuesday, and whoever leaves the best, whoever gets the most likes on their caption gets a shout out on the show, and that will be coming later. Oh, congratulations to Brian Roberts, who was the winner of last month's Fan of the Month quiz, and he got his prize during the week. I hope you're enjoying that, Brian. That's basically it for now. That's sort of a rundown of what's coming up. And of course, the quiz. Did you guess, by me leaving a little bit of a subtle hint on my trailer yesterday, what the movie is? That's what the quiz questions are going to be coming from in a second. Also, I don't know whether you caught this earlier on. Rick at A to Z, Elvis A to Z, or A to Z as we say in England, and Leslie Pilling did a live YouTube stream in aid of the Circle G Ranch, and they were asking for donations for the floral tribute this year. And what I will do is I will go back in after this and I will post the link to that video below this video so you can watch that as well. So yeah, basically we've got this is another quiz. This is another clue as well behind me, what the movie is. Sandra, who watched Tickle Me or the quiz? Yeah, that's exactly. She says, who watched Tickle Me for the quiz? Because that's what it is. It's the questions are all on Tickle Me. And of course, Tickle Me includes my favorite co-star as well, doesn't it? When I was looking for the picture to go behind me as well from Tickle Me, I noticed how poor some of the studio still shots were from Tickle Me. It was almost like they were on such a tight budget that they didn't spend too much on the photographs and the photographer. When you look at the quality of ones like from Loving You and King Creole, GI Blues, Blue Hawaii, and then you look at the ones from Tickle Me, and they were grainy, they were soft, not great at all. So it just goes to show how tight the budget was for Tickle Me. So stand by your beds. Let's do this. 21st of July, 2024. All the questions are on Tickle Me. 6 questions coming up. And the first one, Dave actually is in the building helping me out on moderating, so he can tell me which one is who got the right question, the correct answer first. And they are going to get that lovely jingle that I introduced last week. I think I introduced it last week, or maybe it was the week before. I don't know. The weeks go by so quick anyway. I don't know what you think, people, but these weeks just go by so fast. Elvis saved the studio with Tickle Me. Yeah, that's right. He did. Here we go. What award did Tickle Me win? Now, I bet you didn't know that. Yes, it won an award. Few people are saying that. Yeah. And it I can see that it's Manfred Baumer, because he put Laurel, and I said, what award did it win? And Helen says, yes, Steve, only 5 months to Christmas. Oh, don't. Yes, the Golden Laurel Award, but I will accept Laurel Award and or Laurel. So I think I'll say Manfred. You get that, Manfred.
Well, look, honey. I mean,
Mr. Fisher, I've been instructing here for some 20 years and no one ever called me honey.
Well, I believe you.
I believe you. By the way, I selected red this week for writing the answers. Okay. Yes. So that's the first one to Manfred. Now, this one might trip a few people up. There were 2 drummers on the soundtrack, DJ Fontana, and who was the other drummer that played on the soundtrack recordings? Susan says, I am hoping by Christmas it will be under 80 degrees in Phoenix. Wow. Dylan is saying Earl Palmer. Vincenzo is saying Earl Palmer. Okay. I can tell you that neither of them are right. Yeah. Well, the Wrecking Crew guy, I forgot his name. We do have a correct answer. Jill says, I don't know. Paul Gansky says Brooks. I think you're thinking of Dudley Brooks. It was a keyboard player. And it is Buddy Harman. And the first person to give me Buddy Harman was Ruth Daniel. Hello, Ruth. Congratulations, Ruth. You are correct. Which means, of course, you get this.
Well, look, honey. I mean,
Mr. Fisher, I've been instructing here for some 20 years and no one ever called me honey.
Well, I believe you.
That's another thing you can do for me, okay? You can actually send me in a jingle to play for the right answer if you wish. The only thing I will say is I have to stipulate that it doesn't have any background music, unfortunately. It has to be just dialogue like that, because the way things are with YouTube at the moment, it would block it for copyright, you see. So sorry about that, but that's the way it is. Now, I want you to complete the lyrics on this one. And it's cautioned my baby to stay at home. Now, what's the next line? Cautioned my baby to stay at home. Oh, I nearly started singing it then. That would have been good, wouldn't it? Oh, dear, dear, dear. Yeah. See, once you start getting an Elvis song in your head, you know what I mean, people? Oh, now, yes. Not to leave Mama's side. Okay, Don Branter. Hi, Don. Well done. Yeah, that's right, Vincenzo. It was Knight Rider, yeah. Don't want to leave Mama's side. Well, it's actually not to leave Mama's side. So, Brian, the winner from last month, has got that one right first. Well done, Brian.
Well, look, honey. I mean...
Mr. Fisher, I've been instructing here for some 20 years and no one ever called me honey.
Well, I believe you.
Every time I play that jingle, I can see Elvis going, well, I believe you. Everybody's saying, well done, Brian. Yes, well done, Brian. Right. And what LP was Knight Rider originally released on? Before it was a filler for Tickle Me, it was released on another album. And what was it? Please. Brent says, love that jingle. Yeah, I know, Brent. I know. Oh, look at all these coming up. Wow, there's no stopping you there. Yeah, a lot of... Oh, although Vincenzo has said something for everyone. It was actually potluck. And I see that Timothy Lee was the first person. Oh.
Well, look, honey. I mean...
Mr. Fisher, I've been instructing here for some 20 years and no one ever called me honey.
Well, I believe you.
We might just use that this week and next week and maybe try and bring another one in for August. If people want to send me one in, great. Just tag it August jingle. Right, Timothy Lee, potluck was the correct answer on that. I see Ruth Daniel got that as well. Edwidge, a lot of people got it right. Although Rebel Vegan says, I was first, Steve. Okay. So we have a steward's inquiry. Right, on my screen, I see Vincenzo saying, congrats, Brian. I see Timothy saying potluck. And then I see you, Rebel, saying potluck. And then Brian saying potluck. So, unfortunately, it does seem that it was Timothy. Not unfortunate for Timothy, but unfortunate for you, it was Timothy. Now, this next question is a multiple choice, okay? Because it's not an easy one. It might even be guesswork for some people, but this is basically it. How many shooting days did Tickle Me take to complete? Wait for it. How many shooting days did Tickle Me take to complete? Was it 18, 25, or 36 days? 18, 25, or 36 days? Dylan says 36. Susan says 18. Right. Lily says 36. Paul, 25, 18. A lot of 18s in there. Imagine 18 days. Wow. Although there was a particular movie I know was 18 days. Okay, so here we go. Dave says it was Mark because the correct answer was 25 days. And quite correct, yeah, because Dylan said 36, Ruth said 18, Susan said 18, and then Mark said 25. Well done, Mark.
Well, look, honey. I mean...
Mr. Fisher, I've been instructing here for some 20 years and no one ever called me honey.
Well, I believe you.
And this is another one, the final question of the night. Number 6. Just wanted to take a drink there, but I wanted to mute the microphone because I'm sure you didn't want to hear me slurping. is another multiple choice question. And let me just do something here. That's that. Multiple choice question. On the US Billboard Hot 100, what did Tickle Me peak at? Was it number 70, number 73, or 99? Now, did it just sneak into the Billboard Hot 100 at 99, 73, or 70? Somebody put 81. Mrs. EAP, Elaine says 81, and I haven't actually, that is an option. You're just trying to confuse me. Okay, it did better than expected, I believe, because the songs were sort of rehashed and they'd been released previously. But it did actually make 70. And Dave is saying Manfred Baumer again, and it was Manfred. Well done, Manfred. That's 2 for you this week, by the looks of it. So,
well, look, honey. I mean,
Mr. Fisher, I've been instructing here for some 20 years and no one ever called me honey.
well, I believe you.
yeah, I believe you. I really do believe you. And that's the quiz for this week. I do hope you enjoyed it. Dylan says 70, not bad, you know. No, not for an album that had, there was no new recordings on it because the budget didn't allow any new recordings and recording sessions. So congratulations to Manfred, Ruth, Brian, Timothy, and Mark. And also thanks to everybody that played along with that. It's always a bit of fun, but there is a prize at the end of the month. Get out of the stables, Granny. Bring it back. Yeah. Steve, only 3 months until Lisa Marie's book. Correct. You're quite correct. Yeah. Now, let's have a look. This is the topic that I wanted to cover. How Elvis handled fame. And the reason why I'm doing this is because of an article I read and then a video I saw. Somebody sent me a video and asked me what I thought of it. So this is it. Elvis and fame. Elvis's fame compared to the celebrities of today. Okay. And this is it. Beautiful Katy Perry, she is beautiful, has admitted it is exhausting to feel as though she always had to be in the public eye. When speaking about an Elvis quote about dealing with fans, Perry said it is no longer applied to modern celebrities. She shared why she felt this way. Perry discussed the role fame played in her life. She vehemently disagreed with the notion that she owed people details about her personal life because she was a celebrity. Who wrote that rule? She says. No one wrote that rule. That's just someone trying to make a selfish plea to be nosy. I heard this story about Elvis. Apparently, if he went out in public, he would always take pictures with any of the fans who asked. No matter what, he would always do it. She said this was easy for Elvis to do because cameras were far less accessible when he was famous. But then I think to myself, yeah, of course he did it. It was in the 50s. Not everyone had a camera, she said. Maybe you'd meet 2 or 3 people who had cameras, and those people would get their pictures. But it's not like it is now, where every single person walking by has a camera. She's obviously sort of meaning the cell phone. She said she was far more willing to stop and talk to her young fans than her adult ones. All right. Perry said she was happy to interact with fans when she was working. When she was on her own time, though, she disliked all the attention on her. Also, if I'm working, then I'm just kind of 100% up for the public, she said. But if I'm not working, then I'm very cautious. She wished people would stay away from her when she was out in public. Oh, and guess what, folks? She plans to release a new album this month. So there's another celebrity, by the looks of it, using Elvis as a springboard to publicize the fact that she's got a album coming out this month. Now, this also comes on the back of an incident involving Justin Bieber chastising fans outside his home. And the video has been posted to all social media platforms. The video shows Justin walking up to his home, and there are fans waiting for him. One asks for a hug, and Justin says, and here's a screenshot actually from the video. He says, I hear you, but this is my home. This is where I live, and I don't appreciate you guys being here. You guys can be anywhere else but my home. You know, at the end of the night when you come home and you want to relax, well, this is my space to do it. So I'd appreciate you guys let me do that. The same girl then asked for a hug. The same girl who asked for a hug at the beginning asks again, and Justin looks at her and refuses, and then walks off into the building. Now, I have to admit, all the time he is very calm. He's very polite and respectful, but firm with his request. You know, he wasn't, he wasn't sort of angry or disrespectful to his fans, or he didn't talk down to them or anything like that. He was. I mean, I want to stress that he was very, very polite and respectful. So, what are your thoughts on that? Is it different now than when Elvis was alive, or are the modern day celebrities disrespectful to the people that made them rich and famous? You can, of course, ring me in a few minutes when we do the next item, which is coming up in a second. Excuse me. You can ring me on Discord. You can get in the queue now. You can ring me on Instagram, Facebook Messenger, or WhatsApp. But let's do this. Dylan's Elvis Tales. Dum. Yes. Dum. And I won't do what I did the other week. I've got to put myself into the call. And then I've also got to say, hello, Dylan.
Hello, sir.
Good evening to you.
Good evening to you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really, really well. Pity about last week, though, wasn't it? Oh, by the way, I meant to say at the start of the show, and I forgot, to anybody Spanish or anybody in Spain watching, congratulations for winning the European Cup. And actually, the best team won, actually.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
Hard luck, England. Now, young sir, you have got a tale for us.
I do, and there is also some photographs that have been provided.
Yes, correct.
By Mr. Steve.
Yes.
So,
okay. Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, okay.
So the tale is about the Phoenix jumpsuit, or jumpsuits, I should say, and it's about how they came to be.
Okay.
And this is straight from Jean Dissert, the gentleman who designed those outfits. What they were going to do was he wanted to make a jungle suit for Elvis, and he was going to have different animals like gorillas and tigers and things. And to do a trial run, he did a zebra as like a trial run, and so they sent it to Elvis to get his approval. And word gets back to Gene from Elvis. They said Elvis loves it, but the only thing is he thinks the bird's got very funny feet. And Gene's going, what? The bird's got funny feet? He goes, yeah, the bird's got funny feet, according to Elvis. What Elvis had done, I don't know how this happened, but he was looking at it upside down.
Okay.
Zebra. And when it turned upside down, it looked like a bird. So
Okay.
we thought like the mane was the wing and the nose was the beak, and that kind of thing.
Okay, so we're seeing the suit upside down. Really, we should be seeing it as a zebra.
Yeah.
Or a zebra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a zebra.
Yeah, zebra.
And they redesigned it to be a bird. And Elvis liked it so much that there was 4 jumpsuits that were made.
That's correct.
There was a white and light blue one, which looks turquoise, but it's not. It's a very pale light blue.
Okay.
There's a white and black one. There is a white and red one. and there is a navy and white one, which is called the Silver Phoenix.
Yes. Yes.
And so, yeah, that's my tale of how the phoenixes came to be and how Elvis thought the zebra was a bird, and he decided to turn it into a bird.
And you know,
So, yeah.
once you see it, once you see it now, you can never unsee it again.
You
You're
can't
sort of
see
you're
it.
sort of trying to turn your head upside down so that you can see the zebra, but you can see the zebra even without
Yep.
going like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, hopefully people enjoy that.
so let me ask you, right? Out of the four, which one do you like the best?
Silver Phoenix, hands down.
Silver, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the
It
dark.
just
That's the dark blue one with the white or silvery
Yeah.
bird on it. Yeah.
It is, and for me, it just looks majestic
Mm-hmm.
when Elvis wears it on stage. It just looks absolutely gorgeous.
Right.
So yeah, that's my tale.
A wonderful, wonderful tale. And as I say, everybody now will be looking at that and saying, "Oh yeah, I can see the zebra now." Thanks to Dylan.
Well, actually, no. Thanks to Gene Gisette
Yes.
for telling the tale, because that's where I saw it, and I thought that'd be a fantastic tale.
Right. Okay, young man. I'll look forward to next week's.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Dylan's Elvis Tales. So there you go. That was Dylan's Elvis Tales. And it's about the jumpsuit. And that segues beautifully into the poll. Because let me show you something else as well. Because I showed Katy Perry when we were topicking, and I showed Justin saying, I hear you" to the young girl outside his home. But I didn't show this. I don't really need to say anything about that, do I? Elvis surrounded, knee deep in fans, signing autographs for hours and hours and hours on end. So anyway, thanks to Dylan, and this segues beautifully into the poll, because the poll is about the Phoenix jumpsuits, also known from now on as the zebra jumpsuit. Which is your favorite of the four? Is it the silver one, which is top left, the turquoise blue, I suppose, because Dylan says it's supposed to be blue, but it does look turquoise in the lights, the black, or the red? All right, that's what you have to do. You have to pick. So let me put that up on the screen now. Start poll. There it is. How's that? Which is your favorite Phoenix jumpsuit? Silver, turquoise, black, or the red one? And I'd love for as many of you to vote, because the more people that vote, I suppose, the more accurate the outcome is. Now, I am actually waiting for your thoughts on the fame thing. Katy Perry saying, oh, it was easier for Elvis because it was the 50s. But she neglected to say, what about the 60s and what about the 70s? And, she seemed to think that people only asked Elvis for his photograph and his autograph in the 50s. No, that's not right. And then Justin Bieber outside his house saying, I don't appreciate you guys being here, and not giving the girl a hug, and just generally saying, I don't appreciate you being outside my home. Okay, fair enough. Maybe he's right. You can call me if you wish now, and you can call me on Discord. You can call me on Instagram, Facebook Messenger, or WhatsApp. The telephone number is now on the screen. Or if you're watching on playback, you can leave your comments below about how Elvis handled fame. Did he do it right? And Katie is wrong, saying, they should leave me alone. Yeah, surprising. Because, as I said earlier on, how did I say it? Is it different now than when Elvis was alive, or are modern day celebrities disrespectful to the people that made them rich and famous? Tell me what you think. If there's no calls coming in, we can move on to the next section. No problem. Okay, right. So if there's no calls, we can do this day in Elvis history. That's right. This day in Elvis history. Actually, as soon as I played the jingle, I actually saw somebody in the queue, so I can take that lady now, and I can say, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take this lady. I'll say, "Hi, Danielle."
Hi, Steve. Hello, everybody.
Now, I was going to leave this until later, but I will show everybody now what you've given me. Very, very kindly, you've given me this present. You know what I'm going to show you, but nobody else knows what they're going to see. Danielle brought me back from her travels. She brought me this, which is maple syrup, pure maple syrup from the guest house at Graceland. And she also got me a Sun Studios matchbook, as you can see. There you go. And there you go. There it says Sun Studios. But the creme de la creme, young lady, is, and I'm going to show everybody this now, is this beautiful, beautiful mug of Elvis with his pink Cadillac. And it also says Elvis you can just see it there in the side the mug. So, Danielle, thank you very, very, very much.
This is just a small way to say thank you. I'm frequently thanking the time that you spend getting the show ready for us, and it's a lot of work. And I don't know how you do it because you have your family, your full-time job.
Yes.
And you always come up with those questions, and I'm like, how did he think about this?
I actually rack my brains most week trying to think of something to come up with it. Sometimes the topic,
Yeah, we know that you're obsessed. That's why, that's how you come up with those things. You're probably thinking about Elvis 24/7 most of the days.
Yeah, every waking hour.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you got it. I was worried that I was not gonna make it.
Well, it really is. I'm showing it again now. It really is a beautiful mug. It really is, and I'm going to enjoy my coffee out of that many times.
Let me tell you, it took me a while. I went back and forth in the store because I really wanted to choose one that would represent Elvis and the ears, and I like the where you hold the mug is different. And when I saw this one, even though I really like for myself, I was like, no, this one is for Steve. And I even mentioned to you that for my birthday, without knowing, a good friend of mine got me the same one.
Ah, yes.
So, well, you give and you receive back. So that's how it is.
But I'm very, very touched and very, very grateful. And I also know that you wrote my name on the wall as well.
Yes. I wanted people to know about you.
Yeah. My name and then the name of the channel. Very, very kind.
Yes. So I'm calling because the topic of Katy Perry and Justin Bieber not being really available like Elvis was.
Yeah.
And I think if he was around, he would still spend all the time available. But also, we got to think that there was no cell phones. All the media that's available now has more than triple.
Yeah.
And he used to go at nighttime when he could be somewhat in peace. And I think if it was nowadays, him going outside, going at night, didn't matter. People would follow him. And maybe at some point he would be asking the same thing. People, I need time with my family, with my friends, to myself. Because he did have some time. It was a nighttime, but he did have some time for himself, for his own enjoyment.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I don't think he ever purposely avoided us as fans, but as you say, he did have ways of getting around it so that he could go around unbothered.
yeah, I think nowadays, if you're really famous, you don't have a way to do it. It's
Mm,
just not possible.
mhm,
Not possible. And that's why Elvis House Graceland would not work it out for any other famous artist nowadays. No way.
mm,
It was so reachable, so visible. Um, if you go to California, you have no idea what the house looks like 99% of the time. It's
mm,
so isolated. The walls are so tall, you cannot see nothing.
mm.
And I'm short, and I was standing at Graceland, just like, this is like, amazing. You can see everything from here where I
Yeah.
was standing. Not the whole wall, but there's a portion that's really short. So
So,
that's my thought. I think
you do think then it is harder now for the celebrities of today than it was for Elvis?
most definitely,
Mm-hmm.
most
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Okay.
I don't know if he would still say anything because just being Elvis, but it's definitely a lot harder nowadays.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. That's great. Thanks, Danielle. And once again, thanks very much for the gifts. I do appreciate
And I
them.
just want to say, for the poll, I voted for the silver one.
Oh yeah. I was meaning to ask you. So you're voting silver.
Yes, it's really sexy. Extra sexy for Elvis.
Okay, young lady. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care. That was Danielle, and as I say, she brought me this and the book match, but most importantly, this beautiful mug. And I just can't, the kindness I'm shown from the viewers of this channel just it really does just make up for me. It really does. I'm made up. Now, I've taken myself out of the call, and I didn't really want to do that because I do want to say a very, very quick hello to Vincenzo.
Hi, Steve. Can you hear me?
Perfectly. How are you, my friend?
Doing good.
Yeah. What do you want to say? Do you want to? I'll tell you what. I'll ask you about the Phoenix jumpsuits first. Which one is your favorite?
The silver.
Ah, Danielle said the silver one as well. Okay. No worries.
I think I can't know. I think fame was easier than in the 50s, like she said. When
You
I
think
was
you think it was easier for Elvis in the 50s, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Vincenzo.
Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you. Bye-bye. That was Vincenzo. I have another call coming through here. And it is hello, Ruth. I think Ruth is listening through her speakers. Hi, Ruth.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, great. How are you, Steve?
It's lovely to speak to you.
Yes, you too.
Well, what would you like to talk about? Would you like to talk about the jumpsuits, or would you like to talk about Elvis and fame?
Well, I think it's different today.
Okay.
Because they're just, like Arkansas Dave was saying, it's people are so disrespectful, and they just go after people more than they did Elvis. I mean, even Elvis was more famous than anybody ever.
Yes, I agree there. He's the most famous person I ever knew anyway.
Yes. But, he had his moments where he would not stop. And I followed him around a lot. So I saw him in Memphis, and he would at times not stop, But if he had people around him, a crowd like at a gas station or whatever, he would stop and sign autographs, take pictures, that kind of thing.
But you never saw him actually outright refuse to sign an autograph. He just didn't stop. He would just keep going.
Well, he told us he wasn't stopping one time. I remember we asked him to stop for an autograph at the pet shop. Well, we followed him to the pet shop in Memphis.
Oh,
and,
I've seen a video you did about that. Yes, and you took photographs, and he says, "I can't stop. I've got to get the dogs home."
Yes, he did say that. But when we first asked him as he was walking into the store, he kind of turned his head. He had his cigar in his mouth, and he kind of smiled, and he goes, "I don't have time for that shit now."
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
And we just laughed because he was just smiling at us.
Oh, wow. Well, there
Yes.
you go. I've learned something new today anyway.
So he did say that. I mean, I wrote it down in my journal, so I know he said that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I believe you 100%. I mean, you have no reason to make something like that up, So, yeah. Wow.
We just laughed. When he came out, I asked him to stop again, of course.
Yeah.
Because we waited for him to come out, which was about 15 minutes. And as he was putting his foot into the car in the driver's seat there, he was getting into the car. I asked him to stop, and I took a picture just as he was getting into the car. And I said, "Elvis, can you stop for an autograph?" And he said, "No, honey, I don't have time for that now. I've got to put this dog to bed now."
Oh, right.
That's what he said.
What year was this, by the way?
1976.
1976.
April 12th.
Oh, right. Well done. The date and the day as well. Okay. So you spent quite a lot of time following Elvis around at Graceland and so forth, did you?
Yes. And I mean, we see him at the theater when he'd come out in the morning, early in the morning, and we'd see him when he'd go into the theater at midnight or so. And a lot of people would ask him to stop, and they wouldn't. They would just be like frozen. So I was at the gate, and I went with some people in a car. I didn't even know them. Went to the theater because they said, "Where's Elvis?" And I said, "Well, I'll take you where he's at. I don't have a car, but yeah." They said, "Just jump in our car and we'll go."
Yeah.
And so we went to the theater, and he was coming out that morning, probably at 7 a.m., something like that. And we were just sitting in the car waiting on him. And he come out the front of the Crosstown Theater, and they said, ask him to stop, because they were just frozen. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, "Hi, Elvis, can you stop for an autograph?" "No, honey, I got to go."
Fair enough. So yeah, so maybe, I have definitely learned something there. I always thought he'd stop, for anybody and everybody. So obviously not.
No, if he had a crowd around him, like he'd go down to the gate just to sign autographs, talk to people.
Yeah.
He would do that for hours.
Yeah.
But
hours. Yeah.
Yeah. If he was on the move, not usually,
Have you got any photographs of you and Elvis together?
No, I only have one of him and me behind him taking a picture.
Oh,
and that's it.
Right. I'd love to see that. I'm sure I've seen it on your Facebook page, maybe, but I'm not too sure if I remember seeing it or not.
Well, I'll share it with you.
Yes, please.
I'll put it. I'll send it to your messenger.
And I maybe show it next week if you don't mind.
That'd be great. That'd be great. It's taken by Steve and Susan Chambliss.
Okay.
From Greensboro.
Okay.
And they're friends of mine. And he was trying to get, of course, a picture of Elvis. And the picture of Elvis was blurry, and the background where I'm in the background is clear.
Very good. Okay, Ruth, it's lovely to speak to you. Thanks very much for calling.
Okay, you're welcome.
All the best.
Bye, Steve.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ruth, I've spoken to Ruth before, but it's always a pleasure to speak to her. I did see Brent actually in the queue, but he seems to have disappeared now. So Brent always has something very, very interesting to say on these topics. So I was actually looking forward to speaking to Brent actually. Let's see if there's another one coming in. I enjoy these calls very, very much. Very, very much. Yes, there he is. Now, Steve, please don't forget to put yourself in the call. Hi, Brent.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Hey, how are you? I thought your patience had run out on me.
No. My microphone was getting wonky on me, but No, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I am very famous among my bill collectors, and just even at that local level, it's tough. But no, when you think of a fame like Elvis had,
Yeah.
I think the world was a little kinder at that time. It was a little more innocent because don't forget, back then, Steve, the average person did not have access to a device that could spread their message to thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
The negative opinions were left to the people that had jobs at newspapers or magazines. Now any random person now has access to thousands of people, and they could say any negative thing they want, armed with cameras, armed with everything. It was really more of an innocent era when Elvis was walking this earth, and
Yeah.
I think I think he did the best that he could.
I mean, it was less immediate, wasn't it? I mean, if you took a photograph or you got somebody to take a photograph of you and Elvis, you had to wait a couple of weeks before you could show people that picture. Now you take a selfie with somebody and it's around the world in a split second because you just posted on your social medias.
Or you could accost them live with the video running.
Yeah, that's of course. Yeah, look who I'm live with. I'm live with Elvis at the Graceland Gates.
And he's trying to cover his face, and then everybody's like, "What a jerk! What a jerk!" You don't get a fair. I wouldn't want to be that famous in today's climate. That would just because it does seem like too. There's also, I don't know if it was around so much back then, but more so now, it's really malevolent. They almost want to build you up, and they cannot wait to pull that one little rug out from under you and
Yeah.
watch you crumble.
Oh yeah,
with the same
well,
enthusiasm.
I mean, there was a saying, wasn't there? We build you up to knock you down. That's the saying, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that with Elvis, I think it would have been very hard because think about some of the nefarious things that people have said about him back in that era. I could only imagine what some people would hypothesize about today. And don't forget, we don't really go by facts anymore. We go by feelings now, which makes it even more difficult because think about if Elvis were out right now and one person said he was a racist. Can you imagine the wildfire that would happen? So I'm kind of glad he's not in this kind of bum rush of a sick kind of twisted culture that we have now.
Yeah, I mean, people have often said to me, Elvis was, he just came along at the right time. He was a right time, right place sort of deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and I really think, because I think people sometimes ask us why are we out doing the content creator stuff about Elvis. It's because if we stop tomorrow, the more bad things said about Elvis's legacy would actually trump the good things said about his legacy. We're fighting that wave that just will not stop and dissipate.
Let me change the subject then. The Phoenix jumpsuit that Dylan read. Oh, right. Right.
Yes, I don't know why. It just the first time it had me at hello. The first time, and I think it was Dylan who showed it to me actually like 3.5, 4 years ago, and I was just like, "Yep, that got me." And it's funny how the jumpsuits are such a visual spectacle, and when one calls out to you, and yet a different one can call out to someone else, but yet each connection is profound.
And you knew about the zebra, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
never
Dylan, you're going to hear a bunch of this stuff.
exactly, and it's something
He schools us, Steve, because that's not my expertise. I'm more about the music. So Dylan is sort of like my jumpsuit guru.
Yeah, he's my go-to as well. When I need to know something about jumpsuit, I'll ask him because he is faultless on it. He really is. But that zebra thing, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. That's for sure.
Oh, exactly. And there's another phenomenon like that where that goes into play. This is just for fun, everybody. If you go and watch old movies, especially if they're transferred, after every 20 minutes, you might see a little circle on the top right-hand corner.
Q dot.
Yep. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I used to be a projectionist and a manager at a movie theater. Those used to be the signal that it was time for a reel change because we used to connect all the reels together to make a print.
Yep. Yeah,
So
I know.
just useless trivia that will get you nowhere, but it's fun.
I used to look for those as a kid, and I knew what they were for as well because I'm a bit of a movie geek as well. It's coming near the end of a reel.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
There's also that little edit sound too that it would make when the reel turned over. Like
Yeah.
a little splice sound. But anyway, thanks, Steve, for all the great work that you do.
And listen, thanks for coming back into the queue, because it's always a great call when you call.
Thanks, man. Thanks, everybody who also contributed for the Circle G Foundation.
Oh, yes.
God bless all of you.
Thanks a lot, Brent. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Yes, I'm glad actually that Brent mentioned that. I will remind myself to put the link below this video for that video if you want to have a look at it. And now let's go and do another call. And it is, hello, Mark. Good evening.
Hello, Steve. How are you? All right.
I'm doing really well. Well done. You got one of the questions right, didn't you? You got
I slipped up on the. I was close on the other one, but I slipped up on a few. I should have got pot luck as soon as I wrote the wrong answer down. I thought, pot luck in it, but it's always right.
But you got the shooting days right anyway on Tickle Me. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah,
well done.
I watched that film of the week actually on Blu-ray. I'll Tickle Me. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. They're all starting to sort of peter out now on Blu-ray, which is good.
Yeah. There's a few more. Yeah, there's a few more coming out, I think, soon as well. So it's nice. Hopefully, in the next few years, we might get the whole collection.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
What I'll do is I'll give the Blu-rays away as prizes, I think, for the fan of the month.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah. Change of habit. I got that one as well not long ago, and I thought the transfer was quite good on that as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Right. What would you like to talk about?
Yeah, just the one thing about the suits, the red one for me.
Oh, right. That's 2 now for red and 2 for silver.
I like the red one. Yeah, stands out well. Yeah. And just a thing about fame, really. I think he handled it quite well. I think he always had time for his fans. I think there might be the occasions where he probably wasn't feeling too good. 76 when the lady said he probably wasn't in the best of health at times. Just gushed off here and there. But I think all through the 50s and 60s and early 70s, you see him signing autographs all over the place, in Graceland, in Hollywood, wherever he was,
He spent a lot of time at the gates in 69 and 70. There's a lot of photos and movies of him at the gates in 69 and 70.
Yeah, and I think it is now, because you've only got to take one shot now of somebody, and it's around the world in seconds. It could be the most awful shot that you didn't want to have of yourself or a story, and it's out there in seconds, and then it can destroy you, can't it, in seconds?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What do you think of Justin Bieber saying he didn't appreciate his fans being there and they should clear off, basically? But he was very respectful. He was very calm, but he was direct as well. He said, I don't think you should be here the whole time.
Yeah, I think if it's only happening on the odd occasion, I respect it. If they're outside your door every day, and I suppose you have to have some kind of privacy. It is hard, isn't it? But you've got. I think you've always got to say to yourself, every artist or everybody, it's the fans who put you there.
Exactly.
And you have to respect your fans. They're the ones who've bought your records. They're the ones who've watched your films. They're the ones who go and pay a ticket for your price. Elvis was 100%. Behind that, look at the ticket prices in the 70s. He didn't even want to raise them. He told the colonel, "No, keep it at the same price."
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't want to rip anybody off. He was fair, and I think he probably handled it quite well. And I think there's a part of it probably later on in his life he probably didn't handle it so good. But I think he was shielded a lot by Parker, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was.
And I think he could have been out there a bit letting loose and probably would have saw a lot of more things, but I think he was shielded by Parker, and I just think he was kept away from a lot of things. Like you said, he didn't even go to Hollywood parties, did he? Or
no, he didn't like the whole Hollywood setup. Parker always said, make sure you always leave them wanting more.
That's it. Yeah, it was just time for if you're there, you're gone, aren't you? You just imagine if you'd have gone to all these parties and mixed with all these people, the amount of stories that would have come out, the pictures that would have come out, and it may have not be, that probably would have not pleased Parker in a way, because he wasn't there, was he, to control it? He did control Elvis in a way, didn't he? So
there was one instance, wasn't there, when it was outside Care Sporting Goods or something like that, when he lost his temper with the photographer, and there's actually a couple of shots of him actually shouting at the photographer, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. But that's probably a rare occasion. But you're gonna have them, aren't you? You might get caught on the wrong time, the wrong place.
Or was it the owner that wasn't pleased because of all the fans in the shop? It was one or the other, wasn't it? There's definitely a photograph of him, and he doesn't look best pleased anyway.
No. But I think majority of it, like you say, Elvis is probably the most famous person in the whole world. He was back, even when he was alive until now.
Yeah.
We were still talking about him now, aren't we? So that just says what a person he was,
Yeah.
And I just think, he handled it well. And, a lot of people say fame destroyed him as well, but I don't think it destroyed him. But I think if he had a better manager probably towards the end of his life, it could have stirred him the other way and shook him up.
Well, you see, he was the first global rock star, wasn't he? There was no blueprint for nobody knew how to handle it, including Elvis himself.
No, that's it. Yeah, like the famous Lennon quote in it. There was nothing before Elvis, was there?
No, that's right.
And he came along, and that was it. He changed it for everybody, and
I
think he handled it well, and. I always think that he always respected his fans anyway, and I think you see a lot of people. I've read reports on Frank Sinatra and people like that. He didn't have time for his fans. He wasn't one for that. He'd get out there, he wouldn't sign autographs, and things like that. And I was just thinking, well, you shouldn't be like that because you're famous for one reason. Yeah, you've got a talent, but without the fans behind you, one are you really?
That's right. I think Elvis knew that as well. All right, Mark. As always, a great call. Mind yourself. Bye.
And you take care.
Bye. I mean, I do agree with a lot of what the callers are saying tonight. Elvis knew how important his fans were, and not everybody today is like that. I mean, there's that famous thing where he says, I don't mind if the fans rip the shirt off my back because they put it there. So Elvis was 100% sure that he knew why he was where he was, and one in a million. Definitely one in a million. In fact, more than one in a million. He was a one-off. This day in Elvis history. So we were on the cusp of doing that, and then thankfully all those callers called in. Great calls, and to every single one of you that called in, thank you very, very, very much, because you do really make the show that much better. You really do. So this day in Elvis history, as we always do, and I will remind you to do the poll, and it is this, of course. It's which Phoenix jumpsuit do you like the best? Is it the silver one, top left, the turquoise, top right, the black, bottom left, or the red, bottom right? So keep voting on that, please, because as I say, the more people that actually vote, the more accurate, I suppose, is the outcome. So I'll remind you that again a little later. But as I say, we are going to do this day in Elvis history. And in 1955, Elvis performed at the Silver Moon Club, Newport, Arkansas. Now, the building doesn't seem to be standing anymore, but the floor... Look at this. The actual floor, there it is still there. And here's a bit of a close-up of the mosaic part. And then there's this as well. And does that look like sort of almost like a stage at the end, the top right there? And finally, that there. And that looks like a guitar shape, doesn't it? That really does look like a guitar shape painted out on the floor. So that was on this day in 1955. 1956, Billboard magazine calls Elvis the most controversial entertainer since Liberace. The article also notes that Ed Sullivan, who once said Elvis would never appear on his show, signed the singer for 3 appearances. He changed his tune, didn't he? 1958. Yes, it's this. Hard-Headed Woman was the top tune on the Billboard chart. It went to number 1 on the Billboard charts and went to number 2 for 2 weeks on the R&B chart. It became the first rock and roll single to earn RIAA designation of a gold record. I'm not too sure who designed that cover there for the single, but it's not great. The lettering is almost disappearing into the background. They could have done with a little bit of highlighting or something, but it does say Elvis Presley, Hard-Headed Woman, and Don't Ask Me Why on the B-side from the upcoming movie King Creole. No, it doesn't say from the upcoming production King Creole. Okay, that's what it says. Right, 1960. We've got Elvis obtained his first degree black belt in karate. 1961, he was working on Follow That Dream. There's a great shot of them in the car. And we've got 1962. Oh, here's a good photograph. Elvis rented the Memphis Fairgrounds, and it looks there like he's just handing or taking back a pen from the lady to maybe sign something. So there again, Elvis signing autographs. 1963, we have Viva Las Vegas. Then we have Girl Happy in 1964. Double Trouble in 1966. And Speedway 1967. 1968, a British fan convention had a preview of Speedway and recorded message from Elvis. He sent a recorded message to them. 1969, ongoing rehearsals for his Las Vegas opening on July the 31st. 1970, rehearsals for the upcoming shows in Vegas were held in MGM Studios in Culver City and were filmed for use in the documentary that would be titled That's the Way It Is. 1971, Elvis did dinner and midnight Tahoe shows. 1972, Elvis arrived in Memphis back from a stay in Los Angeles. And 1973, yes, Elvis arrived at the Stax Studios in Memphis and the musicians were shocked by his appearance. For most of them, it was the first time they saw him in not too good a shape. This session ended at 3 a.m. He recorded 9 takes of If You Don't Come Back, a rehearsal, so there was only 1 take of It's Different Now, 3 corn patches, 15 takes, and Take Good Care of Her, 6 takes. 1974, Elvis remained in Memphis for the rest of the month. And 1975, Veterans Memorial Coliseum, Greensboro, North Carolina. Let's have a look at some of these photographs. Great action photograph with the binoculars in the background that look like frogs. That's what Elvis always said. Okay, so we have these as well. I love these shots taken from a distance. They almost give you a sort of a semblance of what it must have been like sitting in the audience and looking down on the stage as Elvis was there, and he's at the stage apron there talking to fans and pretending to hand out and pull the scarf away from the fan. And then we've got this one as well. Look at that hair. Isn't that great? Joe Gershow in the background and the frogs again in the background. 1976, Elvis in Vegas under Dr. Garnham's care in an induced coma at the doctor's house for weight loss. Okay. And 1977, he was at Graceland, of course. And yes, with further ado, that was this day in Elvis history. And we've got Photoshop. Yes, oh dear. Here we go. We have a beautiful shot of Elvis and Vera Ellen sharing a dance at a Hollywood party. What do you think of that for a lovely shot? Well, actually, it's not, because this is the real shot. The original shot is Vera Ellen and her second husband, Victor Rothschild. So, yeah, you can see the difference there quite clearly. they've put Elvis's face from, it looks like about 1960 on top of Victor's shoulders. So there you have it. That was this week's Photoshop. And you can, if you wish, send in Photoshops for use in a future show. Now, what else have we got? You can still vote on the poll. And of course, it is this. If you've joined late, it's this. Which one do you like the most? The silver Phoenix jumpsuit, the turquoise, the black, or the red? And I think there was 2 callers for the red and 2 for the silver. So I wonder which one is going to win. And I'll tell you which is my favorite as well at the end of the show, if I remember. If I remember. Okay, so the next thing is Elvis at the piano. Yeah. And it's chosen by Vicky Worthington. Hi, Vicky, and thanks for sending this in. You, of course, as well, can send in your suggestion for Elvis at the piano. There's Always Me is a 1961 song, originally on the album Something for Everybody, released on May 19th, 1961. It was recorded at RCA Studio B in Nashville, Tennessee on March 12th of that year. 10 takes were done, and the last take was chosen as master. The song was published by Elvis's publishing company, Gladys Music Inc., and the writer was pianist and songwriter Don Robertson. Elvis was enthusiastic while recording it, relishing the challenge of the tenor ending. Robertson recalled the conversation. Just before the recording reached the end, he said to me, "Listen to this ending." He was very proud of his semi-operatic delivery of the title line at the end. As well he should have been. Yeah. On August the 8th, 1967, the recording was released as an A-side, picture sleeve 45 on RCA's Victor, backed with Judy, as part of the By Popular Demand series as a summer vacation special. And there is the very, very thing I'm talking about, the picture sleeve and the summer vacation special. The single peaked at number 56 on the Billboard Pop Single chart in the US. It reached number 7 on the Australian Go Set chart in 1967, a 17-week chart run. Wow. In the UK, it failed to chart. Unbelievable. There's Always Me, and it failed to chart. Okay. The song was featured on the 2015 Sony music album If I Can Dream, Elvis Presley with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. And it was featured in a 2018 iPhone television commercial featuring Elvis impersonators from around the world. And Vicky told me, as usual, the weekend finds me listening to music and reminiscing about times gone by. I came across this song again after not listening to it for years. I thought how well it would have gone over on a live show. Oh yes, with the background singers involved and that last line belted out. Yeah, as only Elvis could have done. It would have been great to hear and see. I agree. What's your comments? Do you agree that you wished he'd have sung that live on stage at the piano? You can leave your comments below if you're watching this on playback, and don't forget you can actually, oh yeah, so there's the and it was on that album as well, Something for Everybody. And you can send in your suggestions for what you wished Elvis had sung, accompanied himself on the piano. It doesn't have to be an Elvis song, it can be any song, and also ideas as well. Yes. Send in your ideas, underrated songs, Photoshops, smoking hot photos. Don't forget, folks, we've got the smoking hot photo to come up. And wait till you see what I've done with it. Very clever what I've done with it. I'm a big head, aren't I? So yeah, send those in to me. And while we're on the subject, if you haven't yet, please do subscribe. Click the bell, turn it black, and select all notifications, not personalized, but all. It does really help if you subscribe, because then you'll know when I post videos. And also, don't forget Discord. You can join our Discord channel. The link is below, and we have a great time on it. 24/7 Elvis chat, and we do an Elvis photo of the day. And I've used some of the Elvis photos of the day for the Smoking Hot because they're that good. So there you are. Oh yeah, caption this photo. Let's do caption this photo. This was it. That was the photo that I put, and some of the captions that were left was, I guess it's not coming home. That's sort of a reference to the football last week, England not bringing home the trophy. Oops, I guess I didn't put the parking brake on when I left the golf cart. Singing to that hound dog still freaks me out. This picture reminds me of the face I make when I bite into something sweet and it bothers my teeth. Ouch, that kid Kurt Russell just kicked me. He's going to be the next one to get a swift kick. Just realised I have another 9 movies to go before the nightmare is over. The runner-up, drank that ice-cold water too fast. Brain freeze. But the winner, yes. With 15 likes. Well done, Otrilia. And it is, it just hit me that I've married Priscilla and I wanted Anne Margaret. I don't send these in. Those are the ones that get the most likes. But anyway, well done, Otrilia. And we will give Otrilia a round of applause. Don't forget, you can still vote on the poll, of course. And it is this. If you're not aware of what we are polling today, it's which is your favorite jumpsuit? The silver phoenix, the turquoise, the black, or the red? Still time to vote on that. And we now move on to... I forgot to use this. Caption the photo. Every week I forget to do that jingle before I do caption the photo. How am I going to remember to do that? What a mess I am. What a mess. Right. Yeah. This is a song I wish Elvis had recorded, and it's me. I've picked this, but you can pick one and send it in to me. And it's Tennessee Waltz. It's a popular country music song with lyrics by Red Stewart and music by Pee Wee King, written in 1946 and first released in January 1948. The song became a multi-million seller via 1950 recording The Tennessee Waltz by Patti Page. Beautiful Patti Page. There she is. All versions of the lyrics narrate a situation in which the persona was introduced his or her sweetheart to a friend who then waltzes away with him or her. The lyrics are altered on the basis of the gender of the singer. The popularity of Tennessee Waltz made it the 4th official song of the state of Tennessee in 1965. Page's recording was inducted into Grammy's Hall of Fame in 1998. Now, this is not the normal I Wish Elvis Had Recorded because, as most of us know, he did record a version of Tennessee Waltz. As Elvis and his friends were apt to do when they were relaxing at home, a reel-to-reel tape machine would come out along with guitars and the piano, and they would have a sing-song and record various songs as they popped into their heads. One such occasion occurred at Elvis's rented home, 10550 Rocker Place in California, whilst he was on the West Coast shooting the movie Spin Out. And Tennessee Waltz was eventually released on March the 9th, 1999 on the CD The Home Recordings, a collection of Elvis's home recordings from 1950s and 1960s. And there it is. So that's the song that I wish Elvis had recorded, Tennessee Waltz. Other songs recorded that day was After Loving You, All My Love, All My Life, a one-liner, Beyond the Reef, Tumbling Tumbleweeds, Hide Thou Me, It's No Fun Being Lonely, San Antonio Rose. There's two different sort of versions of Tennessee Waltz, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 was only a short 1 minute 21, and the Tennessee Waltz number 2 was 3:02, and that's the one you'll find on the home recordings. Moonlight Sonata, I've Been Blue, Blue Hawaii, believe it or not. Yeah, he put that down on tape as well, believe it or not. So, yeah, and if you want to send me in a song you wish Elvis had recorded, you can do that in all the normal channels that you speak to me with. Now, let's close the poll, actually, because I'm interested to know what the result is. Okay, right. Believe it or not, it is 50% the turquoise, 28 silver, black 10, and red 10. That's quite, that surprised me, actually. So let's just go through that again. Let's just take that off and say that it is turquoise 50%, silver 28%, black 10, and red 10. You're not going to believe this. I am in the minority. My favorite is the red. So yeah, that's quite surprised me that the turquoise one got so much. I'm wondering if the people are actually voting more on the picture than they are on the jumpsuit. Maybe not. No, that would be unfair for me to assume that. Let's do underrated Elvis song, and this was suggested to me by Susie, and it's this one. You Asked Me To is a song written by Billy Joe Shaver and Waylon Jennings. It was originally recorded by Jennings on his 1973 album Honky Tonk Heroes. The song spent 15 weeks on the Billboard Country Singles Chart, reaching a peak of number 8. Shaver recorded his own version in 1977 for the album Gypsy Boy, with special guest Willie Nelson on guitar and vocals. You Asked Me To appeared as a closing song on Elvis's 1975 album Promised Land. It was recorded on Tuesday, December the 11th, 1973 at Stax Recording Studio in Memphis over 6 takes and released on his 40th birthday. It also appeared as an alternative arrangement in Elvis's posthumous 1981 album Guitar Man, which reached the top 50 in the US. The single the single charted as a double A-side, Loving Arms, You Asked Me To, and on the Billboard Hot Country Singles Chart, peaking at number 8 on the week of June 20th, 1981. I feel it's not just underrated, but also a relatively unknown Elvis track outside of the Elvis fan circle. So do you agree? Is You Asked Me To an underrated song? And if you're not familiar with it, I will leave a link below. Now, smoking hot photo of the week. I promised you, I don't know whether I promised you a clever smoking hot photo, but that's basically what it is. You wait till you see what I did with the smoking hot photo. I must remember to use that caption this photo jingle. I don't know why I keep forgetting. Anyway, here we go. This is it. Smoking hot for July 21st. There. Can you see what I did there? He's smoking and he's hot. Smoking hot. It's the little things that please me. And what is everybody going to say about this? Let's have a look in the comments. Jill, swoon. Yes. Vincenzo says I like the silver one. Okay. Rebel Vegan is laughing. I take it she's laughing at my smoking hot photo. Mrs. EAP Elaine says, very funny, Steve. Glad you like the photo, Steve. I wonder what he was thinking about. Yeah. He sat next to Diane Goodman. Diane is actually, she's cropped out of that photo. But yes. Good grief, Steve. I will be dreaming of him tonight, says Sally Billing. McKenna Lynn. Hi, McKenna. Nice to see you. Love the photo. So sexy, says Lily Ramos. I actually spoke to Diane Goodman for this channel. It's available on the playlist of what I've created, People from the Elvis World. It's available on this channel. Elvis was so cool, yes. McKenna says, hi, Steve. Hello, sweetheart. Thank you for supplying the material to the show last week. I think it was last week, wasn't it? And Don says, good one, Steve. Laugh out loud. I hope you enjoyed that smoking hot photo. Elvis is so gorgeous, says Helen Murray. Oh, Sally says perfect lips. Yeah, they are. And as a lot of ladies, when they're asked what sort of a kisser was Elvis, unbelievable. That's what they say. I remember Linda saying that kissing Elvis was like marshmallow. Yes, an unusual suit as well, isn't it? Unusual suit. Blue looks good on Elvis. Lips like pillows, they say. Marshmallow lips. Yes, I think that's what Linda called them. Marshmallow lips. Thanks to Dave for moderating the quiz. Thanks very much, Dave. And thanks to all the callers. You made great calls this week on how Elvis handled fame. If you're watching this on playback, then please do leave your comments below. And we'll do it all again next week. But until then, Al, what are you going to tell me?
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.